Our business IQ is so bad.
People that aren't even paying us. I mean, we mowed a lot that people didn't even pay us. We were putting in the hours trying to make sure everyone was satisfied, but at the end of the day, we weren't collecting all of our money. Spiraled down, so.
Today, we're in Central Illinois visiting Nathan and Brady from Luxury Lawn Care.
Right now, our biggest struggles are running the business.
We're the ones who miss the paychecks.
We never really caught up last year.
One payroll, one truck going down, and one job going wrong, that's 40 grand. They're gonna throw some landmine like that. It doesn't allow someone like me to help you. It also doesn't allow your accountant to help you. It doesn't allow anyone to help you, as well as you're flying blind. Like, you have no idea where you're at in the business. Like, I can't help this business. Like, hey, let's figure out how this is gonna end.
If you can't show up and do the same effort that we're doing, then I don't think you should be part of it anymore.
Don't get into business with someone that in a relationship you know will end, and therefore inevitably affect the relationship that you want to keep going on forever.
I think we run a pretty successful business.
$390,000 in revenue last year, $279 in profit.
We want to go big.
Yeah.
When you have two owners in the field, you should be super efficient and super profitable. Even if you don't know your numbers, have them on a spreadsheet so someone else can look at them and then help you. This is the Business Turnaround Show. My name is Mike Andes. I'm the founder of Augusta Lawn Care, where we have over 170 locations around the world. And I travel around the country fixing struggling businesses. Our goal is to give Nathan and Brady a strategy to turn around the business in the next 6 weeks and get the company back on track. Brady, right?
Yep, Brady. Nice to meet you.
Good to meet you, man. And this is Nathan?
Yeah.
Good to meet you,
How you doing,
man.
Mike?
Absolutely. This is great shop space you got here.
Yeah, it's not
Appreciate
bad.
it.
It's cool. Is it you guys own this or rent it or?
My dad bought it,
Okay, nice.
and we rent it from him.
Very cool. Just like the front of the property?
All of this.
Really? Oh,
Yeah.
that's sick.
Good thing is we can dump here.
Oh, sick.
So we just
How many
add.
acres is it, like 2 or 3?
Yeah, I think because we
Right
have
at
some of the
3.
wood line. Yeah, it's like 2 point. It's pretty much.
That's nice. Very cool. Did you just pull one of the trucks in here usually?
The Zuzu stays in here. We were renting before. We're basically still renting, but we're getting something out of it. We can store all of our materials here.
This is probably zoned for it too, right?
Yeah, this
That's
is.
super cool.
It was an old trash company.
This place was?
Yeah, and he retired and he was getting out of it. So we got it for a really, really good deal.
So when did you move in this shop space?
3 years ago?
Oh, so it's been here a while.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
We try to keep most things hooked up just so it's efficient in the morning. Typically, this will be back here, the trailer as far as that'll get unhooked. Then they can pull around and then hook up to it and then go out. And then the dump trailer will be in here. And then usually the trucks will stay outside. But if we can, we try to pack everything in here as tight as we can so that everything can. But the nice thing is the lean-to just got built last fall. Yeah, so now we can kind of have a little bit more space, like the wheelbarrows and everything like that out there.
Oh, that's awesome, man.
And we have an office too, which was a huge plus because we didn't have that in the last spot.
Got it.
So we were at a shop renting, but there's another guys in there, and we didn't really care for that. But.
There's something hairy, I think, with the partnership, because the old owner is still on the website. So let me get clear on this, and we can cut this out if you want us to.
No, you're good.
So there was another gentleman, I'm thinking it's Landon. His picture's still on the website, bless his heart.
Yeah.
So he was, and it was you two.
Yes, Landon was a great worker. Honestly, he's probably our best guy we had. That's all he would do, you know? So before Brady, I was kind of doing the sales, talking to clients, the admin, running the day-to-day operations. And it was like too much. It was like, hey, if you're gonna be a partner, I need your help on some of these other things. So that's why we brought Brady onto it.
It was them two originally. I had my own thing, and then I was going through like this whole process with I was still playing baseball, and then I was supposed to get surgery on my
Look at a baseball
labrum.
player. Let's go.
So it was like my labrum, it's completely torn, everything like that.
Oh,
and
man.
so it was tough because I was, working in the field and like I couldn't do anything. We both joked around with the idea of, hey, like we should join, like we're in the same service area, might as well. So then it was all 3 of us, and then
Oh, so you, for a while, it was all
Yeah,
3 of you.
yeah.
And was that just last year? The 3
just
of
last
you?
year up until like May.
In a relationship, assuming you're married, getting married, like you basically say till death do us part. And like essentially out of like an existential crisis, that doesn't change. When business, everyone's going to eventually split. But yet we treat it like a marriage, which is like, oh, we're never gonna talk about divorce. Unfortunately, unlike relationships, people don't take a lot of their time on partnerships. Like it'll be like a matter of a few weeks, and I'm like, we should do business together. You're basically like getting in a marriage with somebody. But in terms of business, it's going to end at some point. You're not going to be with each other forever. And so if the likelihood of divorce in a relationship is 50%, I would say the likelihood of quote unquote divorce, i.e. just separation in business, is probably like 99%. Like very, very few people for the rest of their life will be in business together. And so it seemed like a good idea to figure out how that's gonna work when it does end, inevitably.
A lot of people's like partners are scary, but I look at it like, hey, we got 3 people that have the same goal. I mean, we're not gonna have an employee that can top that. Spring of last year came, we bought out another 2 companies, a small company and one had 30 yards, one had 85 yards.
Wow. And you were also kind of joining at the same time.
Yeah, so I worked.
Well, let's all do everything at the exact same time. From a revenue perspective, like in 2023, what was the revenue?
We hit 189. That was me and Landon.
Okay, cool. And then the acquisitions happened early last year,
Yep.
and both the acquisitions are paid for, right? Like they're behind
Yes.
us, they're not
Yeah,
paying
they're done.
payments. And your guys are scaling up a lot, I'm
Yes,
imagining,
yep.
in spring.
Yeah.
The 3 of you are all on board. And then does he just like lose interest in the business?
He had drama going on
Okay.
with his girl. We had like 60 something yards, me and Landon did, that we were mowing, and that's fine. He had roughly 30 or 40 yards. So with us combining, we could be fine.
Yeah.
But then the spring rush last year hit, we bought all those accounts, we had like 220. I don't want to talk bad about him, but it got to a point where honestly he was missing work, and I was like, hey, I got tired of it, and I said, hey, if you can't show up and do the same effort that we're doing, then I don't think you should be part of it anymore.
Then he left April.
April.
Oh, it's like a month.
So it was quick.
Yeah.
It was quick. Yeah.
Mercy.
Yeah.
Did he relinquish all equity?
So yeah, it was just a tough situation, and I don't blame him necessarily for leaving and taking care of what he had to do. It was just kind of affecting us, and it was not fair to us.
After he left, did you all have to kind of put brakes on growing though?
was hard.
Just because
Yeah.
like he immediately was like your leader in the field.
Yeah.
Got it. So last spring was probably a lot of chaos.
It was rough.
Yeah. It was stress on top of stress on top of stress. I mean, probably 80 hours a week minimum.
And landscape side of things, he was landscaper too. So we kind of basically had to cut those out until we found guys. We scored like $70,000 in landscapes in one day. It was a joke finding guys.
Did those come in like right before he left, and so you were on the hook to get them done?
Though it was like as he was leaving, so we were like bidding it out for a shorter amount of time because he knows how to do all that stuff.
So 2 jobs we should have profited. We didn't really profit just because trying to find the guys to do it. So that messed us up. There was a lot of weeks that we couldn't even get everything mowed.
Yeah.
So we never really caught up last year. We got behind, hit us hard early April, and we never really got caught up. I was supposed to run the mowing, he was landscaping, and he was supposed to just,
Office, yeah.
admins, because that's what me and Landon struggled on the year before, is this. The upselling's there, the more money's there, it's just like the backbone of the business is what we struggled on. We just learning curve to get there.
Like my thing with Patrick last year, didn't talk about it publicly, but it's like, yeah, I ended up buying him out, but like at least we had it defined as to what was supposed to happen. So when I was, not thrilled with his partnership, I could get out of it. And we're still friends. Like, you still text. I invited him to my wedding.
Right now, as far as where the contract with the new LLC is, that it's just pretty much a 50-50. So
Equity split?
Yeah.
Okay, and then who is 50-50 split of power too?
Yeah, pretty much.
Voting.
So-
Do you have a pen by chance?
Yeah.
You guys know what the 4L framework is? Have you guys seen the videos?
I've heard of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's only 4 real reasons why your business stops growing, and I call it the 4L framework. It's either because of liquidity, leads, labor, or leadership. And when you first get your business started, you need liquidity, you need cash, and you turn that liquidity into leads. How? By advertising. And then once you get a bunch of leads, you get a bunch of customers, what do you need? Labor, because we're in the home service industry, we gotta actually go do the work. And once you get a bunch of laborers, you need leadership to be able to run the business and be able to run it when you're not even there. What I'd like to do is over the next 6 weeks, before we touch base with you, kind of give you assignments for, hey, these are the things we're doing each of these areas. So, okay, leadership side, I think we want to do an amendment and figure out like what is the partnership agreement. What we don't want to happen is anything with the relationship and their partnership, then do a repeat of 2024. So you can even determine in the partnership agreement, like how do we value the business, right? So is it like you can just already set an arbitrary valuation so that if someone wants to out, it's like we already know what it is to buy them out. And then there's always the agreement of like, okay, we know what the value of the business is, and if I ever want to buy them out or I need to leave, I know what I'm going to be getting out of this. And if it does happen, it's very clear. It's like, okay, so we don't agree on stuff. Great, let's go. What's supposed to happen now? Okay, you're getting divorced. Like, we never want that. We don't want to think about it. But like, you're doing that now. 25% of the business is in jeopardy. What's supposed to happen? Oh, we're supposed to liquidate. I have to be bought out. And here's the valuation. Okay, we're gonna get 3 independent valuators, and then the average of those is what we use. Some people use profit and like we add the assets. Like in 10 years, one of you will want to grow, one of you will like cash out.
Yeah.
Right? And having the conversation now when things are good and it's not a bunch of money on the line is really healthy. Yeah. You can just keep adding to it in your LLC as the business changes. It's gonna take one evening for you guys to go over like, what is the prenup of this business? How does that work? So we both can like pour 100% into it, knowing that if and when things happen, I'm like I'm not gonna get screwed again. Because that's in the back of both of your heads. I would just like put it all in writing. It's like super healthy.
Yeah. It's smart now while we're good.
Well, that requires having a good balance sheet, right? So I think even from a leadership perspective, like having numbers of the business, i.e. an account like the bookkeeper, would be super positive.
Yeah.
Well, the challenging part with a turnaround like this is when you have really like a P&L that doesn't hardly exist, a balance sheet that's typed up on Google Docs in 2 paragraphs, you are flying blind. It's like literally being dropped into a car in the middle of the prairies and be like, where do you think you are? You have no idea. For me coming in, I can't really do much because I don't know like what is your labor efficiency. You know, how much are you spending on admin versus out in the field labor? Like there's no numbers, and so you don't even know where to attack.
Yeah.
Have them on a spreadsheet so someone else can look at them and then help you. Because like I can't help this business, and so I would definitely try to get some numbers on it. Like right now, how much is in the bank?
14,000.
14,000.
Okay, so it's not like crazy bad, but squeaky going into like probably a $50,000-$60,000 a month. 50,
Yeah,
60 grand.
April will be, yeah. This month, I think we're gonna do like 30.
You're just gonna ramp it up.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So still a little bit squeaky on the cash side, but like you can cover payroll.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
There's a couple of weeks where it's like payroll's coming. It's like who has a credit card on file? Hit them.
Yeah.
So we can at least get paid to pay for our guys.
Our guys have never missed a paycheck, ever.
Right.
We're the ones who miss the paychecks. That's why we want the profit. Because like we have bills too. He has a house. I have a truck payment. I'm getting ready to get married in December.
go.
So it's like, yeah.
We never missed a check, but we had to, hey, I know this is your route that you're supposed to do. Hit these.
Yeah.
Don't go mow these 20 customers today. We don't have credit cards for them. So we're not gonna get paid from them until whenever.
So we'd have to switch the routes up by like, if they're on a Thursday and we were already behind a little bit, would like, oh, let's move them back to a Tuesday. That way, you know, hey, come Thursday, everything's in the account so we can give them their checks on Friday. So that's the rough part that we're like, we don't want to do that.
Right now, like the challenging part is like I don't even have numbers to look at. Like I don't know what percentage is going to labor. I don't know what percentage is going to fuel. I don't know what percentage is going to your shop space. Like you're flying blind because you don't have no metrics. Like even the fact that you did the acquisition last year and that came out of cash, if that was marked as an expense, like that probably messes up your taxes. It also is going to mess up the P&L. Like it looks like you guys didn't make money, right? It was like $390,000 in revenue, $279 in profit, according to what I saw. But I didn't see any breakdown.
We run Jobber. That is where
Our biggest
are
headache as a
horrible.
business.
Like our business IQ is so bad.
Yeah, like the thing with bank statements is like it's like every time you got in your car, if you have to like check the oil, check the air pressure, like you don't do that. You just hop in the car and then you hope that the dashboard at a glance you know what's going on. And that's why the P&L is important. It's just a matter of like, do we want to scale fast or do we want to make this thing more profitable? I think like getting clarity on that is important before we go into it. Because for example, if you had $100,000 in the bank, I'm like, okay, great. You're gonna be full-time admin. You're gonna be full-time sales. You're gonna get an operations person. And we're gonna scale to $1 million in a year and a half. That's one route. Very risky when you only have $15,000 in the bank. Like, don't recommend. And so then it's just a function of, okay, what's the alternative look like? The alternative looks like, let's juice every single lead so that as the leads get in, we fill all the current trucks up. Like right now, if you have 180, 150 customers mowing, how many do you think you could get before you'd be like, hey, we have to buy another truck for mowing?
Probably about 200. So more
pick
clients,
up
probably
60.
about 50 or 60, yeah.
Okay, so basically 50, 60 more customers. You're at 150, if we hit 200, we're basically like, we're using the extra trailer, the extra mowers. Okay, great. So like my then philosophy is we can grow and kind of be profitable at the same time. And that is one, we grow as fast as possible to 200 and then we raise prices. like across the board by at least 20%. So from a liquidity perspective, we really got to get above 2 weeks worth of revenue in the bank. And that's like $25,000, $30,000. So I'm gonna put like a target on it, a 30K. 30K cash in the bank. The other thing is, from a liquidity perspective, we got to do a price increase. So if we can get a price increase in 6 weeks on 200 customers, that's the goal, then we will literally solve our liquidity crunch problem. And like the difference between being like 1 or 2% profitable versus 10 or 15% profitable this year, actually like that you guys get distributions, is whether or not you raise prices during spring rush. And so if we do that, that will give you the cash flow required. And then you kind of get to scratch the itch of growing and scratch the itch of making more money. And so like it's very rare that I actually tell someone, hey, go sprint to this and you're gonna run it pretty hot. But I think you can do it in 6 to 8 weeks. Right? Get 50 new customers if you juice the leads correctly. And I have a couple ideas around that. But like juice it, hit that marker, and then as soon as you raise, if you raise 200 customers by 20%, you're gonna literally bring 6 to 8 grand of profit to the bottom line. And so it just becomes a matter of like, oh, then how do we get the leads? So is this what you're doing for marketing?
Yeah, that's our plan. We have obviously a website, and we used to have a marketing guy who was supposed to make, TikToks, Facebook posts. He was supposed to edit our website, but like you said already, Landon's still on the website. So
That was kind of the breaking point. That's kind of why we had like 2 months to fix that. We had him in here to have a meeting with them.
The website was broken?
No, 2 months. We had him in here to like, hey, we want these changed. Landon's not here. He knows Landon's not here. Can we have this about us changed a little bit?
Yeah.
our address isn't even the right address.
I was gonna say, dude.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So have you guys locked out of your site?
He has pretty much all access as far as I know.
Landon or the SEO,
No,
the website guy?
the guy.
And so why isn't he giving it to you?
He literally wouldn't. I asked him because I was trying to, obviously spring's coming in. I texted him. I was like, hey, you want to like come in and like take a look, make a plan for what we want, how many Facebook posts, change a little bit of stuff on the website. And he was like, yeah, I'll come in. And then I texted him like, hey, are you coming in this weekend? And he's like, no. He's like, he didn't even answer.
Are you guys paying him?
No.
No,
Not
but
right now.
but he basically controls the site,
Yes. Yeah.
and you have no access to that.
Not right now, no. Like if we wanted to get in and change a photo, no.
We pay.
Do you own the domain?
Yes.
Okay. Pull it up real quick. There's a few things, like the challenging part is I'm gonna give you these ideas and then like you can't really execute them right now.
Yeah.
Do you actually have access to the domain though? Like if you built another site, you could rip it out from underneath him?
I think so, yeah.
Okay, good.
But
like,
he's the one that got it for us.
Oh snap, he has access.
But if I called him right now, he like.
Is it GoDaddy? Do you know where you bought it through? HostGator? Okay.
Because it turned out to be a pretty decent website.
Yeah, so there's a few things like on here I think we could really improve the conversion.
So I know you're big about getting rid of stock images.
Yeah.
Maybe getting a video of our guys in the background.
Yeah, or even like your trucks, like the Isuzu is really nice. If it was you and like your crew just standing up against that in front of the shop space, I think it'd be great. Like that picture here would do a lot better than just random, stuff in the background. Also with this like the text is hard to read because there's so much busyness happening. Yeah. So a couple things you could do to almost immediately double the conversion on the site. So how I think about it is like these would drive traffic to the website. Running Facebook ads will drive traffic to the website. Getting better SEO drive traffic to the website. But if the website doesn't convert them into leads, I could care less. Yeah. And so it's like what's the lever of the business is if I can figure out how to take this website and instead of 1 out of 50 people that get to the site ask for an estimate, and if we can get that 1 out of 25, we double the business. Yeah. So I actually look at here first because how do we get 50 new customers is the problem to solve. Yeah. In the next 6 weeks, how do we get 50 more mowing customers? Because I know if we do that and then we raise prices, we are going to draw $5,000 to $8,000 straight to the bottom line. That will solve a lot of the pressure financially. Yeah. So when I look at this, there's a few things I would do. And this is challenging because like right now we can't make these changes, but like the financing tab, how many people actually use WiseTap on your projects?
We've had one person, and it was like a $30,000.
So we're wasting our highest converting CTA, call to action spot, for financing that one customer used. Yeah. And basically for another service, WiseTap. I don't care about WiseTap. I want you guys to make money. Yeah. So like this is where I would say request an estimate. So this button goes up here. Okay. Like we want it to be wherever they are on this page, it doesn't say financing, it says get an estimate. Like he has the CTA throughout here, that's fine, but this floats up top, I would change it to get a request. Like the whole point of getting the website is that they ask for an estimate.
Right.
And then the next thing is 90% of people that will see this page right here will not go to a different page or scroll down. They're just gonna stay here. Yeah. And so I want them to be able to submit their information without scrolling down, without clicking here. So like the contact us page. Now, so in order to give you guys information, I have to leave the homepage and then I have to scroll down. Yeah. I want it to be where as soon as I get here, if I'm going down the road and I see luxury lawn care and I type in luxury lawn care in Google and I click on your site, right from here, I want to have a fillable form. Okay. And so even if you move this over, you had 1/3 of this just being, I want your name, your contact information, and what service you want. Just get their information so then you can capture the lead. Because that will take you from a 1 out of 50 conversion. And right now we have no math on this because but like you will be able to see eventually, like, okay, here's how many people come to our site. And I can guarantee right now, you're probably getting 300-400 people to this site every month, and a small fraction of them are actually converting. Because they have to click on the other things, and you'll be able to see down the road, like page views, and you'll see like less than 10% of people are going to other pages. They're just staying right here. And if they can't get their information to you, you don't get a lead. And so we can pay for this, we can pay for Facebook ads, we can do Google ads, we can do SEO, and people get to the site, but if they're not converting to a lead, it's useless. So I would really encourage, like this is tough because we can't do anything, but like change the CTA to request an estimate, change the photo to being your guys in your uniforms out here with the truck, the Susie looks great, make that the main image. Okay. And then up here in the top, like above the fold, so you don't have to scroll, there's your request form. And I don't care if it's tied in a job or not. Like I just want the higher conversion of people getting here and immediately submitting information. Because that alone will increase, like I would say at least double your conversion. From an SEO perspective, they're doing pretty good. Their website's ranking well. But again, like I'm always looking for like, what's the 1% that actually makes it double? So for example, if their conversion on their website is 2%, which means 1 out of 50 people that come to the site convert to a lead. If I can just change the conversion from 2% to 4%, I just doubled the business. And so yes, I could go after the inefficiencies here and 5%, 10%, but I'm looking for the biggest domino. And to double that business, I need to increase the conversion on the website from 2% to 4%. So many times we get so stuck in operations, we fail to step back and be like, okay, how do I double this business? How do I triple this business? And it's usually not going after the thing that you're gonna make small tweaks to that makes a 5-10% increase. It's the massive domino, which is leads coming in right now, half of them get confused and don't click through all the way to submitting an estimate request form. Fix that bottleneck, that constraint. And so if you fix any bottleneck, below that is where all the impact of the business happens, but you've got to fix that one little small thing. So like really from a leads perspective, we just need control of the site. Yeah. Like whether you pay him or you ask him, hey, can we get the domain? Or if he has an access to like a website builder, it looks like he's using WordPress, and then you go get someone else to do it. Like we just need control of it because it is literally the reason that you're getting leads. Like if you're not advertising, the reason you're getting those leads is because you're ranking well on Google listing and you're ranking well on Google. So like not having control of that lead source is like it is tomorrow he could pull that card and you guys don't have a business. Like if that happens, your leads stop. And that's like an existential crisis for the business. It's a huge threat in my opinion. This is why like eventually I always try to move something like third party. I have the keys to it. I have the keys to the domain. Even the people that build my sites, like employees, they do not have access to the domain. Because someone could pull that domain out from underneath you and you're toast. Like you are at ransom. And so if we can just increase the conversion and have control of that, I'd feel better. Especially after what happened last year. Like you're just always looking for like, okay, what could potentially put me out of business tomorrow? Yeah. You know, and like he is one click away on HostGator or GoDaddy from like, okay, their site's off. Yeah. I need $5,000 from you, right. And you would pay it because leads would grind to a hole, right?
Learning, like obviously we know how to work and we know how to. Our product is good, but learning the business side is way harder than doing the actual work in the field.
From a labor perspective, you obviously have a couple good guys from last year still. Yeah. You got a couple new guys getting trained. Finding them seems to be easier this year.
Way easier.
Way
easier. And so from a training perspective, like as we get the new customers, has like it sounds like I haven't even heard of like a lot of complaints, callbacks, nothing like that.
The biggest complaints we had was not answering the phone. Communication was terrible last year. If I'm working, I just want to get the work done, and I'll kind of leave my phones in the truck, but I had the business phone, and like I'd get calls and calls and calls, and then I'd be like, okay, I got 10 missed calls, because I was on landscapes last year. So I'd be there for like 6 hours, and I'd take a break, and it'd be like, I got 10 missed calls. I'm like, oh my God, now I gotta take, you know, an hour to make these phone calls back, or I can just wait till the end of the day and do that. So it was kind of a back and forth on that. Maintenance is our focus. I mean, obviously being a lawn care business, our main focus is, you know, taking care of people's weekly needs, and project-based work, because it's only 10 or 15% of our revenue, it's like, okay, that 10 or 15% takes up, you know, probably 150 hours worth of my time per project.
Doing the smaller services like the mulching and the lawn care, I mean, it's easier to train guys. So if we can do that, bring guys in, have him focus on what he needs to do, we're good. Like if he's on the phone and he's doing the emails and he's talking to the clients, and people are doing what they need to do behind him, that's where we're our best. So
Then what can our team do to keep you from having to be on job sites? Do we need to have a better trained like project manager?
I'm extremely picky.
Okay.
on the project basis.
So okay,
Really
let's
big.
do that. So can we take the 20 jobs that we currently do on project side and cut out the top 5 or 6 that you know you only can be there?
Probably, yeah. I micromanage big time on the like quality side of things. So that's a personal issue that I like.
Projects, that's why we do so well together, because project-based work, we don't work together.
Yeah.
He's so fast at mowing and his quality's good on mowing, but like I have to make sure grade is like perfect. I have to make sure that everything is like code, which obviously you should, but like there's so many people around here that don't do it that way. But that's also why we're higher priced, because I do it like step by step, no steps get missed, and I've never had a complaint on any project-based work in my life.
Work-wise, we really don't
Yeah.
get complaints.
No.
So what I would say then is like, if the constraint of the business is you being able to communicate better with customers, we need to free you up. So then this question is like, why are you not freeing out? Well, I have to be on the job site. They have to be perfect. Okay, great. What are the things that if you're not there, fall through the cracks? And then eliminate those services. This is also a reason why having a good P&L, and even you could use Jobber for this, figuring out which services you're making revenue from. Because I happen to believe you could cut out 20% of your project revenue, but cut out 60, 70, 80% of the amount of time you must be on the job site. But by doing that, increase our communication and double the other parts of the business, because we just have better close ratio, better communication.
I don't want to have to be out there. I don't. I want this to be I want the communication, I want everything like that, the maintenance side.
So that's healthy. I just keep doing that, because if the constraint of a business exists, all resources should be put into it. And if the constraint is we don't communicate fast enough, we have a whole bunch of missed calls, we have a bunch of leads we don't get back to, that should be the thing we solve for. And if that means cutting out 10 to 15% of revenue so we can attack the other 80% of revenue, good idea. It's like, as you're super busy with mowing, don't take on big projects. Schedule those off into the off season. Whether that be July, August when it slows down a little bit because of the sun, or just even like as you go into fall cleanups, like focus all of the time and energy on getting the recurring customers and push the project off in December and January.
We made an agreement to cut out the hardscapes last year.
Yeah.
More difficult services, because it was hard for us to find guys last year.
Yeah.
Our goal is to basically just build up the maintenance side.
Right.
Instead of selling these bigger projects, just focus on upselling what we have. And we'll make the same amount of money, if not more. And I think that's the route we're gonna focus on this year.
And you can always just have it where it's like, hey, we're okay with a 50% close ratio on our maintenance, but we only want a close ratio of like 25 to 30% on projects because we're gonna price it so high. Yeah. And so that if we do get a project and you have to be there, you know you're making such a killing, you could care less.
Yeah.
Right? So that's what I would probably do right away, is just raise your prices dramatically on projects.
Yeah. The stress versus the money, I'd rather maintenance.
Well, it's also a matter of just like leverage of your time. Like your
Yeah.
time out doing projects, you're probably making $100 an hour for the business.
Yeah.
But if you're able to get 5 new jobs and communicate better with customers and have a better retention of your maintenance, and then one time you raise a price increase and you make $8,000 a month, that's what you can't do with landscaping.
Yeah.
You can't go back in time like, all right, all these customers, I now make money on you. With the maintenance, if we can get to 200, use all these trucks and equipment, I happen to believe that you could also, down the road, if you like really wanted to go for it, that other trucks start to do some projects, but then also more maintenance during the spring rush, you might get 250 customers. And all of a sudden, like, raising prices, we just left our location, like he's gonna raise prices and make $10,000 extra profit, but it's like pushing a button. And that's like where the money is good.
Right.
And more importantly, it's not dependent on you being there,
Yeah.
right? I know we kind of did the full circle there. There's a lot of little changes.
Yeah.
And what's funny is like most time people think I'm gonna come in here like, change the software, and like, but we don't have any numbers to deal with right now.
Right.
And so I go after the low hanging fruit, which is like, we need more money in the bank. And to do that, we need to hit capacity and raise prices. And I think we can grow into that, and then a lot of this other stuff falls into place. Like if your conversion on your leads, all of a sudden you're getting 6, 8 leads a day, it'll force you even more so that the bottleneck becomes you can't communicate. Yeah. So like, it'll force you to simplify services. It'll force you to say no to complex ones. And then you'll need to know your numbers, because like eventually you get to the point where like, okay, this is so fresh and money comes in, money somehow disappears. We have no idea where it's going, and you just like, you gotta have a P&L, right? So I think even from a leadership perspective, like having numbers of the business, i.e. an account like the bookkeeper, would be super positive.
Yeah.
Because like if I come back here in a year and we have a solid P&L from 2025, we have a really good discussion about, okay, do you pay for performance? Do we open up the books? Do we do profit sharing? What does distributable cash look like? What are the roles and responsibilities, and what percentage of revenue is going to the landscaping versus the mowing? But we don't have that now. So like, I think numbers, like having the bookkeeper, they'll be happy to take your money, so that should be an easy one. But I'd say like within a week or two, they clean things up for you, right? And then you have a really good P&L. You actually, as you make a price increase, you see the effect of it. You start to see what the close ratio is for landscape versus mowing, and then you really start to govern the business as the owner, right? Yeah. The biggest thing is like, if we can get access to the site like this week, and then immediately increase our conversion as Spring Rush comes on, I think that's the thing that unlocks us getting 50 new customers and raising the price.
Okay.
If we can do the difference between this year being profitable and not is going to be if we get that price increase in 6 to 8 weeks versus like in August we kind of hit capacity.
Yeah.
Right, and then you're like, I don't really want to raise prices because we're kind of on the downswing anyways. Like the next 2 months of sprinting to that is the difference of profitability.